Hi everyone, my name is Kevin Pranoto. I am a second year undergraduate student at Nanyang Technological University. I am currently studying metallurgy in Material Science and Engineering Department.
A little bit about my life story. Although I am in Singapore right now, I am not a Singaporean. As you can see, I was born in Semarang, one of the cities in Indonesia. If you know Jakarta, Jakarta is the capital city of Indonesia. Semarang is like 6 hours by train to the east from Jakarta. It is a big city. It is bigger than Singapore if you look from the area alone. But it is not as advanced as Singapore. 17 years I live in Semarang and study in Semarang. And regarding my education, you could say that I am above average compared to my peers. But there is nothing special about me. I have always thought that I will go to one of my local universities, and after I graduate I will work in a local company. However, I tried to put a bigger target when I applied for universities, which is NTU. NTU is much more advanced compared to my local university. And for the first time in my life, I am putting so much effort studying for NTU's examination. After a few weeks, the results came out and turns out I am qualified to come to NTU, which was something I would not think about a few months before it. And then, a few months after that, I flew to Singapore for the first time in my whole life to study in NTU. NTU is very accommodating. As a foreigner, I have a lot of worry coming into NTU, as it was also my first time going to Singapore. However, NTU gives a lot of help to international students, or at least to me. One of them is the health of residents in NTU. For me, financial is something that I am most worried about when I entered NTU, and living cost in Singapore is higher compared to Indonesia. Luckily, NTU provides a place for international students to live with a relatively cheaper price compared to renting a place outside in Singapore, which helps me a lot financially. Well, that's enough about me. Now I will move on to what exactly am I doing. As an engineering student in NTU, I have a chance to work under one of my professors on their research in a program called Eureka, our undergraduate research experience on campus. This program is provided by NTU to facilitate students who are interested in doing research. There are tons of research topics, and after looking through the topic, I am interested in one of them. This topic is about replacing plastic with environmentally based materials, specifically pollen particles. It is led by Professor Chon Namjoon, one of my professors in Material Science and Engineering Department, and I am really interested in environment-based research, so I took this topic. I emailed my professor, and after exchanging a few emails, we have a meetup together with other undergraduate students who are interested in the same topic. My professor briefly introduced us to his team, and then he talked about what their research is about and what they are doing. A few days after the meetup, I can start on my project. Of course, I did a lot of safety training in these few days to make sure I know what should be done in laboratory. My project specifically is to characterize processed pollen particles under different conditions using dynamic imaging. Dynamic imaging is a way or a technique to capture the image of thousands moving particles. And from these images, I can analyze the particles, mainly its diameter. There are a lot of variables that I can play with, such as the pollen species, the processing time of the pollen, the pH conditions of the pollen, and so much more. This has been an exciting journey, and there are so much more that I can do. Actually, I can show you one of my results right now. This is a very simple plot that shows the dependency of pollen particle size, or the diameter, on pH conditions. These pollen particles were processed for 4 weeks of time. We can see that the pollen shrinks a lot at pH 2 and 14, especially at pH 2. and it has a relatively same size on pH 4 to 12. This is a bit different to particles with 24 or 48 hours of processing time. I can't show it to you right now because I don't have it with me, but usually we get an inverted parabola curve. So it has a small diameter at pH 2, and then it keeps increasing, it keeps getting bigger until pH 10, which is the peak, and then it starts to decrease again until pH 14. Why is there such a difference between these two conditions? Well, it is my job to look more into it.
To conclude, my research is about looking at pollen particles under different conditions and find the relationship between each condition and the effect it has on the pollen particles. Thank you very much for listening.